Welcome back to Money Monday with yours truly, HRT Rich. And to my left, we got the red and the blue on today. So I don't know, we just need a little white somewhere. We can do good old US of A. But to my left on the screen, to my right in the real world, is Mr. Terry Hollywood Hay as we prepare for another week, starting off, as we always do, Money Monday at Parx. Before we get into all that, Terry, how was your weekend?
It was good. It was really good. Had my son over yesterday to watch that disappointing game with the 49ers. Of
Mm,
course, the 49ers, they didn't do very well. They lost. They made too many mistakes.
uh-huh.
But it was fun anyway, enjoying time with my son, and that's what it's really about.
Indeed. Yesterday I was trying to catch up on some sleep off of that long weekend of getting the thing prepped for the Churchill Downs Iroquois Pocahontas money wagering guy. Did really well at Churchill Downs on Saturday, so I hope you went over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet and picked those picks up. We had a good day at Churchill today. Hopefully, we'll have a good day at Fort Erie, where that is the free track today. You can get that. There's a link in the description down below to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Make sure you take advantage of that. Coming up, the next wagering guide early in October will be the Coolmore Mile on turf at Keeneland, which is $1 million race. You're not going to want to miss that. And then after that in November, Terry, you know what that's all about, right?
Oh, yeah. Coming up with the Breeders' Cup.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that. I downloaded Skeptical Handicapper and got lost in too many words. Well, you have to just look at the statistics. I understand what you're saying. I just looked at the numbers. Again, I went through all that. Soon we'll have all of the alpha angles available for everybody in our data sheets. I haven't come up with the name of them yet, but soon we'll have them. When the show is over, head on over to horseracingtoday.net. We will post a recap of the show right here in the front. There's a link to horseracing.net again in the description. While you're there, kindly help the show out by hitting on your HRT gear. You can get a red number 1 like I have on, or you can get Terry's blue number 3, which matches his eyes. This probably matched my eyes the last couple of days without any sleep. So that HRT button right there, you can get your gear. We appreciate the support. All right, folks, you got it free at the Detroit Library. Nice. Well, you know what else we get free around here? Our picks, Terry. We
That's
do
right.
our best to give out free picks, preferably winning picks. Whoops. First race, I was looking for a different button. That one is the one I was looking for. Terry, take us through the conditions for the opener this new week in Bensalem, Pennsylvania.
7 furlongs, claiming $7,500 claiming price, a purse $21,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
Yes, indeedy. And to get that third elusive win, horses need to have some tactical speed. 21%. Speaking of 21, I went yesterday to make a bet at the casino here in Chicago, sat down for a few hands of blackjack and 6 hands in a row. Now, I don't know about you, Terry, but I don't know this has ever happened to me. But the dealer got either 20 or 21. And I don't mean 21 like 4 cards in 21. I mean a 10 and an ace.
Yeah.
Have you ever had 6 hands in a row where half of them are blackjacks and the other half are 20s?
No, not that many. I think 3 or 4, but not 6.
How does that always happen with the dealer? I'm sitting on 15. I break every time. The dealer's sitting on 15, pulls an ace, and then it pulls a 4. I don't even know how that works, but
Yeah.
that never happens for me. Nonetheless, 21% of the time they go wire to wire. You do have an inside-out bias. The inside 3 are the best. 4 and out gets similar discount, although 8 runs a little bit better than 4 through 7. Terry, in addition to our profile of a winner, 1,000 simulations. We want to know which horses have the best chance to get on the lead. Speed does matter at Parx. And then based upon our early speed projections, which horses will be riding a race inside their comfort zone or match their best performances. You got these Q30 scores as they close in on 30 with a good chance to get to the lead. Those horses have a great chance to go, or perhaps the best chance to go wire to wire. We'll also have par plus score in our simulations. What percentage of the time a horse ran a speed figure of at least par for this level, that being 71. So you see here, 36.3% of the time, Fascal managed to top or meet that hurdle. And then finally, value. We want our post-time odds to be higher than our simulation odds, trying to catch a little bit of extra money, a little bang for our buck. Terry, where's the bang when the gates open?
Well, all of them show speed, some kind of speed, but that 5 shows the most speed. So if it gets a good break, it should get to that quarter pole first. The 2 has an overlay from about 5-2 to 9-2. The 3 has an overlay from almost 3-1 to 6-1. 4 has an overlay from 10-1 to 12-1. The 6, 3, 2, and 8 show par plus numbers, and all but the 1 and 6 have C zones.
We're going to go real quick because they're heading towards the gate. We also do trip handicapping. 3 want to be 4 middle forward, 3 in the back. Could favor early speed. At the beginning of the race, it does look like Kentucky Rain is the quickest of them, the one we saw in our simulations. There's some company from the 6 and the 8, both to its outside, so should be able to dictate the pace early on. At the end, by the numbers, along with Fast Flag Song Flying, those two have a little bit more late speed, although there's really not a big gap from top to bottom. So I would think middle forward horses have the best shot. Here are their top 4 total pace horses. Usually the winner comes out of that group. Terry, real fast, your picks because they're lining up.
Yeah, I like Flag Song Flying as my top pick. She drops in class today, switches a high percentage winning jockey, and then can improve returning to dirt. Her best start speed is fast among today's starters. Fast Gal, the 6th, my second choice, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Kentucky Rain, the 5, is my third choice, finished third versus Tupper her last race, drops in class, has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Sister Eve, the 8, is my long shot, comes in from Penn National after winning her last race there, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. No additional bets for me in this race.
The 3 horse is a track dropper with the most recent back class, number 6, Fast Girl. A little bit of a Z pattern, early pace was here, a little bit of dip in the middle, and then second win, drops in class, facing the lightest company as it has in its last 10 races after showing better fractions last out. By the numbers, the 2 horse is another one that's coming in from a different track, and Jamie Ness shipping it in from Delaware. Catches a weight break, and this horse is on the improve. And then finally, number 5, Kentucky Rain, does have the best chance to go wire to wire, but I'm not a big fan, as you know, Terry, of those Penn to Parx shippers. They're off and they're running. Great timing on our behalf today. How about that? Got to get some things right from time to time.
Yep.
As they're off and running, the 5 horse, as we predicted, is the one that's up on the lead. It is being challenged, though, to the outside by the 6 horse, Fast Gal. Those 2 did score our top early speed numbers. 5 horse being 10-1 right now, Terry. Then you have behind that, looks to me like the, I don't know what the hell that is, the 8 horse. There you go. Terry's long shot in there, running in third. 2 horse down there in between horses on the rail. The 3 horse, the one we both picked, gonna have to open, hope some space opens up, because the 5 is on the rail, the 6 to the outside, boxed in by the 2, and then the 8 to the outside. They come around the turn. The 5 horse continues to hold the lead, although the 6 horse is making up some ground. The 2 horse is going to try to go wide after an opening quarter of 47.37 seconds. The 5 and the 6 still duking it out. Looks like the 8 has called it a day. The 1 down there trying to save some ground. Down around the outside they come, Mr. Terry, and it looks like right now the 2 horse is going to challenge the 6 horse for the lead. The 3 horse is trying to get its stride going. This race is going to go, like the 1 horse is coming up on the rail. The 3 horse jockey finally getting his horse to switch leads. This race looks like it's going to go to, I'm going to say the 3 is going to catch the 6. Going to be close, though. 2, 3, 6, and then 1, 5. 2, 3, 6, 1, and 5. Is the 2 horse actually, by the numbers, got bet down to your favorite from 9-2 to 6-5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was also, looking at our simulation favorites, by the numbers was also our simulation favorite in there too. Which
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it happens a lot that those sims really do play off, folks. And soon we'll be getting this information out. I'm working my hardest, but every now and then I need a few minutes of rest and relaxation too. I don't get too many of them, and when I do, I try to take advantage of them. All right, Terry, you're going to get on track now. We won't have to rush through race number 2. So let's talk about what they're running for.
All right, another 7 furlongs, claiming $7,500, $21,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won 2 races.
Mm-hmm. We just saw a 7 furlonger where horse did come off the pace to get the W, but was in the middle early on. So you want those middle forward horses, just like the bias says. Inside 3 are the best. Well, you just had the 2 horse score. The 1 horse come up on the rail. The 3 horse was in there as well. The only outsider being the 6 horse. So that proved to be an accurate bias as well. Looking at the early speed in race number 2, Terry, do you see any that stand out?
Yeah, that 5 has the most speed, followed up by the 6. And then, so if they get out of the gate, maybe together If the 5 don't get a really good start, then the 5 and the 6 may go head to head to the quarter pole. The 2 has an overlay from 11 to 1 to 20 to 1. The 3 has an overlay from almost 3 to 1 to 6 to 1. And the 5 has an overlay from about almost 2 to 1 to 9 to 2. 5, 3, 2, and 8 have par plus numbers and all show C zones. But look at the 5 and the 6 with their Q30s, especially that 5.
Yeah, that 5 horse could be dangerous. It's got that 50% chance to get on the lead, an 86 the top C zone. So that horse is not going to be uncomfortable up there. Acquiring 60% of all the querying points, again, 30% or more is usually an indication of a horse that has a good shot. It's a top par plus horse. It's your simulation odd favorite, Terry. The question is, does it get the lead? Looking at race numbers 2, race shape, you got 3 that want to be middle forward, the rest on the way back. That really favors early speed, Terry. According to our pace numbers, we do see El de Josue being the one that does have the most early speed, about 6 points clear of Dream Within a Dream, the Inception horse. So El de Joshua should be the one that leads the way early on. At the end, if it tires, like we saw some of the horses on the front today in race number 1, Liberty Runner is by far the most late speed available to it. That one's about 2 lengths quicker than Scamp Walker. Every 5 points equates about 1 length, so keep that in mind when you're looking at these numbers. Our top total pace horses, again, the top 4, all odd numbers, 5, 3, 7, and 1. So bet the odd ones. Forget about the even ones, Terry, and that could be your betting strategy for this race. What do you think?
My first one's an odd number. The 3 Scamp Walker, he finished 3rd versus similar in his last race. His best start speed is fast among today's starters. He has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Then I go to an even number. Dream Within a Dream, the 6. He ran 4th in his last race as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 31% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. He should improve while returning to a sprint, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. The 5, an odd number, LD Jaji, whatever.
Josue.
Yeah, Josue. Yeah, that sounds good. He has the highest last speed rating, can improve while returning to dirt, has a trainer who wins 18% of the races in the first race after he claims a horse. And then my long shot has plenty of time. He likes Parx Racing, finishing in the money 43% of the time, winning 14% of the races. And the distance won't cause any problems as he's been in the money 50% of the time, winning 50% of those races. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to play the 2, 3, 5, 6 with the 2, 3, 5, 6 with the 3, 8, 9, 10 with
Looks like you have the 11 and 12 in there too.
Yeah.
You forgot that you singled the 2 in the middle in the second race.
Yeah, I singled the 3.
The 3 or the 2?
The 2.
In race 3.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Who's on first? 2. I don't know. He's on second.
Yeah. And then I finished up with the 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. $48. Perfect.
I don't know what the codes are, Jack. I wish you would teach us your cryptic codes. I'm not quite sure how all that works. All I know is I run through all the data. Then I look to see the track biases. I look to see which horses have actually shown that they can hit par for this level. Then I kind of take a look at the horses I grade out as the – good morning, Christopher D'Souza. Happy Monday to you, too. And then I try to see which of my horses have a good shot to actually get to the level to score here. I also want to see if there's any inherent in-race advantages. And in this race, I do think El de Joshua has an inherent early race advantage in this race where speed does matter. He's got a 6-point early speed advantage, 52% chance to get on the lead. Very strong that he'll like being on the lead. He's got that Q30 score, 60%. Probably the strongest wire-to-wire candidate in today's card. And on top of that, the 5 horse is also a track dropper. That one's coming in from Tampa and Gulfstream Park. So I don't think that horse is going to be in race number 2. Let's see what the early odds say. I don't think you're going to get anywhere near 9-2 on that 5 horse. Right now, in race number 2, it looks like he's, 3-1. That ain't that bad, considering. Still twice what we think it should be according to our simulation odds. I got the 3 horse Scamp Walker as my second choice in that race, your first pick. Better pace for the first half mile of its last outing. Again, Craig Mikowski from Timeform US. If you take a look at our past Players Edge podcast or Horse Center shows, You'll learn plenty there. One of the things I learned from Craig is horses that did improve their early pace through the first half mile tend to do better the next start. That's today. Only question for this horse is, does it like to win? 17 races, just one win, but between second and third, 10 times. Dream within a dream. The resume says second up should look a lot like the first one. I do think a little bit of distance cut back will work to its benefit. And finally, the man to see, that is your morning line favorite at 2-1. They must think there's something with this horse, but quite frankly, Terry knows I am not a fan of the Pen Shippers. I'm going to do a pick 4 as well. I'm going to go 3, 5, 2, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 8, 11, and 12 to close it out. Finally, we have $100 to spend at the track. Benny and the bets. I'm going to do a $10 double, hoping that 5 can go wire to wire with the 2 and the 6 behind it to close out the double. In race number 3, Terry, take it away.
All right. In race 3, we're going to go out, stretch out to 1 mile and 70 yards. It's another claiming race, $7,500 claiming price. Purse $21,000 for fillies, 3-year-olds, or fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
Yeah, and the catch that 4th dub at 1 mile and 70, $170 on the dirt. A lot of them, Terry, win wire to wire. More than 40% get the lead, keep the lead, and go right on into the winner's circle for a photo session. Post positions are mostly fair. The best are 2 and 3. 4 and 7 get dinged a little, but not any deal makers or deal breakers unless you absolutely love the 2 or the 3. Terry, with all of our 41% of the time the horses go wire to wire, which one looks like it's got the best shot to accomplish that?
Well, that's Liam's Kiss. The 2 horse has lots of speed compared to the other ones, so it should get to the quarter pole first. And if it's not pressured, may go all the way. Who knows? The 3 also has an overlay of 3-1 to 10-1. The 5 has an overlay from about 9-2 to 6-1. All but the 1 show par plus numbers, and all but the 6 shows C zones.
Yeah, competitive on paper. You got 2 of them with the 33% score in here for the Q30, although about 4 times more likely Liam's Kiss will have the lead than 11 months later. So if anyone's going to go wire to wire, it does look like that is the 2 horse. Our pace set up here, everybody wants to close, Terry. That's interesting. That's how they've run their best. So someone's got to go forward, right?
Yeah.
According to our pace numbers, Liam's Kiss, we also saw that in our simulations 11 months later, also within our simulations. So Liam's Kiss, about a length and a head quicker than 11 months later. 2 should clear to 1, get to the front. And then at the end, if they all go too fast, Castena. It's a little bit more late speed than Harper Be Good. Really, the only horse that doesn't fit in at the end will be 11 months later. Question is, do you want the fast one early on, or maybe Harper Be Good that's in the middle with some late speed? Looks like the 2 and 6 from a pace standpoint, Terry. That's what the late pace tells us as well. They're 10 points clear of everyone else. Which one do you prefer, speed or closer?
I like the 2, the front runner, Liam's Kiss. She finished in the money in her last 4 starts, and she won one of those. Has the highest last speed rating. Her best start speed is fast among today's starters. She has a high percentage winning trainer. Hopper Be Good, the 6, my second choice, the closer. She drops in class today and has a high percentage winning jockey. The 5, Kiss Tenenov.
Castena, I guess. I don't know.
She has a second place finish at Parx Racing and at today's distance, and will not be, so it won't be a problem. Number 3, she's my buddy. She has
That's a lot there.
Yeah, she's my long shot. She has a high percentage winning jockey and can improve while returning to the dirt. No additional bets for me here.
Yeah, Christopher D'Souza in race number 2 likes the 1 horse to win in place with the 7 and 5 to fill out the exact and trifectas. And then in this race, the 5 horse, Castena, along with the 2, Liam's Kiss, and she's my buddy, as Terry mentioned. If, like Jack of Trades or Christopher D'Souza, you have some thoughts, some suggestions, some comments, anything that you'd like to share, hell, you like tonight's Monday night football game, I think I should start posting my Monday night, my football, all of my picks. I tweeted a few out so far on the year of the against the spread or bets that I've put out on my Twitter at HRTRich. I think I've won 4 and lost 3. So anytime you're profitable in the NFL, that's a big plus. But I have a system that handicaps all games. I think yesterday it was either 11-5 or 12-4. The week before that, winning as well. So I think maybe I'm going to start posting them as well. I'll let you know where in my Twitter feed at HRT Rich going forward. But if you like to bet on the NFL, go take a look at my power rankings. Maybe it'll help you decide or pass on a few games. As far as my picks in here, Terry, I'm going to go with Liam's Kiss to get to the lead, keep the lead, and then has that 6-point early speed edge in there. Harper Be Good. This one is also a class and track dropper. If this one's close to the pace coming out of that turn, it could be difficult for them to hold her off at the end. Castina, the 5-horse, Christopher D'Souza's top selection in here. I don't think anything, once you get past the top two, there's not much to beat. At least this one's been in the money 5 out of 10 on a fast track. And then She's My Buddy is taking a sizable class drop. And after some rest coming off the bench, could offer some upside. Although 11th months later is the longest shot in a 5-horse field. And Stephen Fielder says when you're betting in those competitions, make sure you take the longest shot on the board. Keep an eye on that guy. Race number 4, Terry, as we make our way through this 9-race card to open up at Ben Salem for the middle part of September. Can you believe how fast we got to the middle of September?
Yeah, it got fast. The older you get, the faster it goes. Anyway, we're shortening up to 6 furlongs, an optional claiming.
I don't think you should be saying older and shortening up in the same sentence there.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, it's an optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price, purse $32,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of $25,000 or less, and which have never won a race other than a maiden or a claimant, or which have never won 4 races, or a claiming price of $25,000, or which have never won 4 races.
Yes, in case you haven't heard, these horses haven't won 4 races. 6 furlongs, 3/4 of a mile. You want to be middle forward. Being on the lead is a good spot to be just as well. 36% of the time, gate to wire types get the W. There is an absolute inside to outside bias. So, Terry, if you're on the inside, you got some wheels, you got a chance to win. But this looks like at the start can be very competitive.
It is. They all show some kind of speed, although the 4 has the most speed, followed up by that 2. And then the 1 has an overlay from 8-1 to 12-1. The 4 has an overlay from about 6 or 7-5 to 3-1. All but the 7 shows par plus numbers, and all but the 3 shows C zones.
Oh my gosh. Just looking at all this data, anybody can win it. If you're looking to find a horse that can go wire to wire, there's 2 standouts here, the 2 and the 4. They have the highest Q30 scores. They're both likely to press the pace early on. Although with all this giddy up and go, I wouldn't be shocked to see a horse come off the pace and score this one if they go too fast. There's really nobody that's lead dependent on here. So that's a plus for those horses to go forward. The 4-horse can pilot or co-pilot. 2 and 5 also has some versatility. So most of these horses want to be middle back. That should favor horses with the giddy up and go when the gates open and the dirt flies. Smoking Holiday, along with Rocket Dragon, Manolito, a lot of these horses in the same spot. Only Top of the Street really not fitting in. So get bumped, get pushed, get slow out of the gate. Could really be a detriment to horses today. I don't see Colors. Does have the most late speed. Should be involved early on as well, just like Disturb. But again, most of these horses within a half a length of each other. So just the 3 and the 6 not fitting in. Your top total pace picture, Terry. You got 4 of them in here again. 1, 2, 4, and 5. 70+% chance the winner comes out of there. The 2 speed horses at the top. Terry, which way are you going to go?
Well, I like the 2. Smoking Holiday is my top choice. Won the last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning jockey, and that trainer and jockey combination the last 14 days have been in the money 4 out of 5 times, winning 2 races, 1 second, 1 third. Number 4, Rocket Dragons, my second choice, finished in the money in his last 9 starts, winning 3 of the races. Very competitive horse. His best start speed is fast among today's start. He's actually tied with another one. I don't see Colors is the 5, my third choice. He ran second versus similar in his last race. He has a high percentage winning jockey. And my long shot is Top of the Street, number 3. He tried turf, but didn't seem to like it very much, and now returns to dirt where he's won the previous race. switches to a high percentage winning jockey and a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 2, 4, 5 with the 3, 8, 11, 12 with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then finish up with the 5, 6, $48 ticket.
Maybe there's some similar thinking in the structure of this ticket as well. I'm going to begin race number 4 with number 2 and number 4 and number 5, just like you. But I do think this is a pretty open race as well. The 2-horse Smokin' Holiday did win at this level last out, and is one, when you look through the past performances, tends to pair up good races. So I expect another good one today. Rocket Dragon, the 4-horse, next up on my list. Rocket Dragon has speed, strong chance to challenge early on. And another one of those horses that fires, just doesn't win, this time at the distance. 7 times out, 1 win, a couple of seconds, 3/3. So it gets up towards the front, maybe fades a little bit at the end. I don't see colors. The 5-horse. This horse is basically an all-or-nothing horse at Parx. He's run 7 times, has a couple of wins and a second. That second was by a neck versus the top pick in here, Smokin' Holiday last out. So if you like the 2, you got to like the 5 as well. Number 1, Disturbed, a little bit of a long shot. Probably has the most upside in this race. And it's going to be one that's closing. And again, a lot of these horses have some pretty similar early speeds. So if they all go out too fast, look out. That one can run by them at the end. Plus the rail is the best place to be. I did a pick 4, 1, 2, 4, 5 over the 3, 8, 11, and 12 with the 1, 3, 4. And then I'm going to back it up with 2 horses at the end, just like you, my friend. We're going to go to the middle race of the card right now. That is the 5th. Tomorrow we'll be back to do Parx again. So make sure, if you haven't done so, Terry, what should folks do to make sure they don't miss tomorrow's Parx show, or Wednesday's Churchill show, or Thursday's Aqueduct show?
Well, they need to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the little bell so they're notified about the programs coming up. Go down and copy that link and share it with their family, friends, relatives, everybody they know, so they can come and check us out too. I know they're going to like what they see. Go to our social sites such as Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, X, and Threads at Horse Race, the number 2 day, and give us a thumbs up or like. That'll really help us out. And also give us comments and picks. That's another way you can help us out. And we enjoy hearing from the people watching us.
Yes, any interactivity we have helps us with the algorithm score. So the more you interact with the show, be it comments, come back and watch again. And one of the great things that we do when the show is over, we timestamp every race in the description in YouTube. So if you want to come back and rewatch our thoughts for race number 5, take a look at the data for race number 7, whatever it is that piques your interest, you could come back and click right on race number 7. It'll take you right to it. 7.5 furlongs, Mr. Terry, on the grass.
Yep.
For race number 5. Did we go through the details already, or are we going to go through?
I haven't. It's of course, we're going from the dirt to the turf. It's an allowance race, $41,000 allowance purse, and then Pennsylvania bred fillies and mares registered, 3-year-old and upward, which have never won a restricted race or races other than a maiden claiming or starter.
Should note that the dirt track today is fast. The grass going is good. So some solid footing across the board in Pennsylvania today. They've only run 2 races, 7.5 furlongs at the Parx meet on the turf course. And in those 2 races, mid-pack types won both of them. One of those horses was on the rail. The other came from post 4 through 7. So with only 2 races on the card so far, the only thing we can probably glean from that information is you don't want to be on the front. You don't want to be in the back. You want to be somewhere in the middle, Terry. But all that can change. So if it does change towards speed, well, again, a race where a lot of them are going to compete early on.
Yep, they all have a lot of speed, or some speed, and it's really anyone's guess because they're pretty competitive. And so if you look at the 3, that's an overlay of about 3.5 to 1 to 5 to 1. The 10 has an overlay. Oops, the 10.
He's out. Yeah, because the 4 and it was interesting about the scratches at Parx today is that there was another MTO entry that they scratched right away, and they left these 2 in until a little bit before we came on.
Yeah.
So those 2 MTOs scratched out at the end.
Yep. Okay, and all the Par Plus numbers, look at they all have Par Plus numbers. That 1 3, Jean Marie, she has 100%, and all but the 9 show C zones, or all of them do. All have C zones. So
yeah, our comfort score. So ideally we want the score to be at 50% or more. That means in our simulations, 50% of the time, this race's projected pace matched their best performance. So that's what the comfort zone's all about. Our race shape for the fifth race, we see a pretty balanced race. One horse in here that's probably scary is that 8 horse, Pleasant Dreams, because everybody else has some company in their column. You got 2 Sesame Street horses, unlike the others. The 8 being a pressure closer type, so it can be anywhere on the track. The 1 horse is the lone closer, so if these all go out too fast, these 2 should get ideal trips. It does look like there's plenty of competition for the early pace here. You got the 3, the 5, the 11, and 12 all within a point of each other. Then everybody down here all within a few points of each. So you're going to have like 2 groups of horses, one a bunch up in the front and a bunch in the back. Probably in the middle with some late speed, give you a best chance to get that done. Pleasant Dreams, the lone PC horse, does have the most late speed, as the 1 does. The one that's up front that has the most late speed is Getaway Palace. That one also has a total pace edge of about 10 points. Anytime you have a 10-point total pace edge, that horse might not win, but that might be one you want to wheel your exactas or your trifectas around. Or if you think it's going to win, maybe single in your vertical bets from race to race to race. Terry, which one did you select?
all right. Well, I like number 8, Pleasant Dreams. She won 2 out of the last 3 races. Tried a handicap race without success and now drops in class today and returns to turf where she performs better. Number 11, Getaway Palace, is my second choice. She ran second versus Tupper in her last race. Drops in class today, has a really early foot, so the shorter distance will help, and her best turf speed is fast among today's starters. The 3, Jean Marie, is my third choice. She has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 22% of the allowance races he has a horse competing in, and he has she has a high percentage winning jockey. And then the 12, the Goddess of Snakes, is my long shot. She performed well in the past on the turf and has a high percentage winning jockey who's Paco Lopez. I'm going to start using some of my $100 budget. I'm going to take and do an exacta box, $1, with the 3, 8, 11, and 12.
I will begin the 5th race on the turf with the 11. It has that 10-point top total pace edge. My only concern about this one is on the outside, and there's a lot of speed in this race too. It's going to be the 4 speedsters versus the 4 closers. Jean Marie, the 3 horse, is my second selection in here, Terry. Resume says that in the second start off or layoff, this 100% par plus guy has a really good chance to be at its best. Number 8, Pleasant Dreams. This one's run on the Parx grass 2 times, Terry. You know how many it's won?
Twice.
It's going to be in that stock or closing position where you want to be. Maybe the best setup for her running style today. Then finally, the Goddess of Snakes, that 12 horse. This is a very competitive field. You have Paco Lopez riding. You can't pass up Paco when it might actually be what they deem a jockey's race. Well, right now, they are starting to line up for race number 2, the 5 horse El de Josue. We did say when we went through it, we doubted that horse would be 9-2. Right now, it's 5-2. Still a little bit of value, though, according to our simulation odds. We have it closer to 3-2. Next on the board is the 6 horse at 5-2, the Inception horse, Dream Within a Dream. The 3 horse Scamp Walker, a little bit of value there. Not really. I mean, we have it at basically 3-1 odds. It is 3-1 odds at the moment. As far as any other overlays in here, Terry, were we going to get a little bit of value? Plenty of time. Your long shot, Terry, getting some action with its odds cut from 20-1 to 9-1. We have simulation odds of 11-1. Gotta like that. That 8 horse, the favorite, according to the odds maker early on, really its odds only going from 2-1 to 7-2. So really not, the bettors aren't jumping away from that one. So right now, it looks like the best value continues to be the 5. Again, that's the horse with that 60% Q30 score, 50% chance to get on the lead, has the best par plus score. You know, if that horse wins, Terry, it's most likely to go either pilot. It's either going to drive the car or ride shotgun. It'll be one of those 2. If it doesn't get off to a good start, I would say the 5 horses' chances are pretty slim. If it gets off to a good start, I'd say his odds are pretty good. And he got off to a pretty easy lead right there, Terry. He's not even working to get to the lead. So He's on the lead, the 5 horse. Looks like the jockey is definitely Franklin Gonzalez Jr. is definitely letting the horse kind of run, not asking it to run. Holding the 8 off with the inside position without really pushing this horse. It looks to me like some of the other horses are getting a little bit impatient because they went 23 and 4. They're heading down the backstretch to 2 horse. The long shot really catching some late money in there, Terry, down to 9-2 from 20-1.
Wow.
It's like there was some inside knowledge at the track on that guy. Either that or they saw our show here. It's right now the 2 horse continues to hold the lead. The 5 horse riding in the shotgun spot on the outside there. The question is, does he have the giddy up and go to come run down that 2 horse? But again, you needed that 5 horse to get the lead probably to win. The 2 horse is continuing to set the tone. That 20-1 shot. The 3 horse is moving pretty well right now, but he's probably got a lot of ground to catch up to that 2 horse. Can he get the job done? Terry's hoping he can to get his pick 4 alive. The 3 horse is making up some ground on that guy. The 3 horse is the one that's going to go by. The 5 horse just pulled up, Terry, so that one's not your winner. It's going to go 3, then 2, and then it looks like, well, I'm just going to go 3-7-2. 3-7-2. 4. The 5 horse just called it a day. Maybe it got injured. I'm not, because it's not, hasn't even crossed the finish line yet.
Probably pulled him up, yeah.
Yeah, my guess is something went wrong in the course of the race there.
Yeah.
He's not.
He's pulling him up. I can see him pulling him up, so.
Yeah, well, when they came across the finish line, it's like 3 minutes went by and the 5 didn't show up there. So,
yep.
Yeah, I think something went wrong with that guy. All right, Terry, well, that's part of horse racing, right? Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Your top pick, my second pick, but most importantly, involved in our pick 4. So we move forward from there. My $10 double. Unfortunately, whatever went wrong with the 5 cooked his chances. Race number 6 is what we're going to do next. Terry, back to a route.
Yeah, we're going to stretch out again to 1 mile and 70 yards. It's an optional claiming race, $16,000 claiming price, $25,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for $16,000 or less, which have never won 2 races, or a claiming price of $16,000 and which have never won 2 races.
Yeah, and a 1:70 early speed does great. More than 40% claim the lead and claim the winner's check. Post positions are mostly fair, although 2 and 3 get a little bit of an edge over the rest, and 4 through 7 get a little bit of a discount. Once again, we don't find any post positions to be a deal maker or a deal breaker. 40% go wire to wire, Terry. Our statistics are usually pretty accurate on who's going to be forward. Again, another race where a whole bunch of them have a shot to be the tone setter.
Yeah, it's all wide open again, as you can see, and there's nobody that really stands out. So it's another anyone's guess who's going to get that quarter pole first. The 1 shows an overlay from 2-1 to 5-1. The 4 shows an overlay from about 9-2 to 10-1. And then the 7 shows an overlay from 10-1 to 5-1. All but the 8 and 9 show par plus numbers, and all of them have C zones.
You got a couple over 50% where their pace should really match their best performances. In race 6, well, look at this balance, Terry. 4 on the front, 4 on the back, 1 in the middle. The 9 horse. Villanito, or Villanito, depending upon the way you pronounce the double L's. That one could have the best trip in there, Terry. It's the Sesame Street horse, clearly. If these go too fast, should have the edge on these. If they go too slow, maybe a little more late punch than the rest. At the beginning of the race, of all that competitive early speed, it does look like the rail horse Strasse, or Street in German. A little bit more speed than everybody else, but being on the inside also gives it an advantage. At the end of the race, Ira the Icon has about a 1 length advantage over Kopesh, although both of those horses could be pretty far off the pace. And at the end of the story, it does look like Strasse and that lone P horse, along with Kopesh and Ira the Icon. Well, you got another one in here, but these 3 have a little bit of an edge over the rest of the field, Terry. Any of those that top your selections?
Yeah, I like the 2 Kanash. Anyway, he finished 3rd versus similar in his last race, can improve while returning to a route. I like the 3, the Gatekeeper is my second choice, ran 2nd versus similar in the last race, has the highest last speed rating. He has the best start speed among today's starters. Safely Order is my fourth horse, which is my third choice. Won his last race at Monmouth Park, and he has a high percentage winning trainer, and he has high percentage winning jockey Paco Lopez in the irons. Number 1, Stassi, is my long shot. He ran third versus Simner his last race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to play the second pick 4. I'm going to use the 1, 2, 3, 4 with the 5, 6 with the 1, 4, 5, 7, and finish up with a 1, 2, 8 $48 ticket.
This is a pretty open race. You see that reflected in my early pick 4 selections here. I'm going to go with the Gatekeeper class dropper, where either of its last 2 races probably good enough to win this one. Stately Order, the 4 horse, a little bit of a long shot. Another track dropper, potentially a class dropper as well. Got plenty of upside, and you have Paco riding on there. Strasse, the 1 horse. Again, that's a street for German. Chance to really improve in the second start after layoff. It's also our simulation favorite. Number 7, Cisco Kid. Last time out, smoked the field for the maiden claiming $16,000 win. It's the first time in this horse's young career it's making it 3 starts in a row. That tells me this horse is finally healthy, so why not? At a price, tip the scales a little bit over the 2 horse, which is my next selection. I couldn't really pick between any of them for my pick 4, so I went with 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. And whenever we both agree that you should think about putting a lot of horses in a leg, just focus on the favorite, because that's the one that's sure to win. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 over the 3, 6, over the 1, 4, 5, 7, over the 2, 8. And of course, the favorite will barely beat the longest shot in our picks. That's how it usually goes. Race 7, as we head to the final 3 races of this opening Monday. Again, tomorrow we'll do Parx at the same time. Our schedule then will be Churchill Downs for Wednesday, Belmont at Aqueduct. We just shorten it to what it really is, Aqueduct on Thursday. Not quite sure what's in store for 4 and Friday. Haven't caught up with Tom yet from his trip to Kentucky Downs. Terry, no matter what we're doing for 4 and Friday, I think there's one place you can find out about all of that.
Well, yeah, you go ahead and subscribe to YouTube, our YouTube channel, and hit that little bell. That's the way you'll be notified by 4 and Fridays. And then hit that, go down and copy that link and share it with all your friends, relatives, neighbors, everybody. They can come and check us out. I know they're going to like what they see. And then go to our social sites at Horse Race, the number 2 day, and give us thumbs up and likes, because that really helps us out. Also give us comments during our show and picks, just like people are doing right now. And you can really help us out in that way too.
And when Terry talks about sharing, you can see how to win handicapping contests. This is where Scott Fielder came in. The guy wins a ton of money. If you do those horse player contests, that show alone is worth your time. So come back, take a look at that. But when Terry talks about share, there's a button right here on YouTube with that share button. Just click on that, copy that, share that with your friends who are also horse racing fans, or some other folks call us degenerates. Share that along, and then hopefully that works out for well with you. Hey, Don Johnson, how are you today? You know what? They always say better late than never, right, Don? And of course, if you're late like Don or just joining us when the show is over, we will timestamp every race in the description on YouTube so you could come back and watch it. Along with that, we'll post all of our comments and a replay of the show at horseracingtoday.net. There'll be a link, or is a link, in the description here on YouTube. Make sure you use that. All right, Terry, for race number 7, what are we running for?
We're going to shorten up to 6 furlongs. It's an allowance race, $41,000 purse for registered Pennsylvania-bred 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won a Pennsylvania's restricted race or races other than maiden, claiming, or starter.
6 furlongs we've talked about. Again, early speed is a really good way to find yourself collecting a winner's check, with 36% going wire to wire. Still, most of the horses are middle forward that eventually cross the finish line first. There's an inside to outside bias, so be fast. Be on the inside. You have an edge over the rest of the horses. That's why we go through all these numbers, Terry. But it does look like the fastest of the fast in this case is on the outside, a Buffalo Girl.
That's right. 7 shows the most speed of everybody in here, followed up by the 3. The 2 has overlay from 7 to 2 to 8 to 1. 3 has an overlay from 4 to 1 to 10 to 1. And all but the 7 shows par plus numbers. Well, all but the 7 and 4. And all of them show C zones, and the 6 has a pretty nice looking Q30.
Yeah, I screwed up my pick 3 there. I have the wrong races in there. So I'm going to go ahead about correcting that right now, folks, because you can't bet. I wish I could bet race 6 when I knew the results in race 7. That would be a very Back to the Future-esque great way to win horse racing. But, Terry, that's just not how that works, right?
Oh, it doesn't work that way. Wish it did too, but
yes, I would like to be able to know. So what's that? 3, 6. That's 4, 8, 16. I think I had a few dollars left, so I'm going to make that $4 pick 3. Hopefully that doesn't put me over my $100 budget. If my knuckles are red tomorrow from Terry smacking them over my fingers with a ruler, you'll know I went over my $100 budget. So taking a look at the race 7 setup, after we've looked at the early data there, we do see that nobody really wants to be the lead. Everybody middle back. 6-horse field. Usually you get to the front, you got a good shot. In this scenario, looks like a few of them up in here. The 3, 6, and 7. Mac Daddy 2 might have the best chance to get to the lead, being on the inside of the other two, especially since the 6 probably forced the 7 really to go quick to get around it early on. The end of the race, Humble Joe is going to be your fastest of the fast down the end. But most of them are pretty competitive in here. I don't know where this race will be won, Terry, but according to our top total pace, the 3 and the 6, they're about 3/4 of a length better than Humble Joe or Force of Justice, and they too are about a length or more better than the rest. So this one looks like it boils down to the 3 or 6. Do you see it any other way?
no, I don't have the 3 as my up in my top 3. It's my long shot, but that 6 is my pick of the day at Parx. And Dylan's Ruby finished in the money in 5 of 6 career starts, winning one of the races, has the highest last speed rating, and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 5 was my second choice, Lost and Confused. He finished in the money in 2 out of the last 3 starts, winning one of the starts, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 7, Force of Justice, ran second versus Similar in his last race, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 3, Mac Daddy is 2 is my long shot. He ran third versus Tougher in his last race, has the highest speed figure at today's distance. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to bet 15 to win and 25 to place on number 6, and a $6 daily double from 6 to the 1, 4, 5, and 7.
I'm confident in Dylan's Ruby. I have Dylan's Ruby at the top of my ticket too, Terry. That one gets the top choice for me because really good chance to be the pace setter in here, although it doesn't look like it on our percentage of lead, but on the pace it does show up in there. Going to have company, but it's another one of those horses that scored a Q30 or more. So if that one can get to the lead, it could be very dangerous as our top par plus horse. Mac Daddy 2, that one's a little bit of an overlay. You mentioned, Terry, 4-1 is what we see it as versus 10-1 morning line. Going to drop in class. Last time was its first trip at Parx after coming in from Oak Lawn and then Churchill and Ellis, other Kentucky tracks. Last time out had much better early speed. So maybe that one could be a great value. Number 5, Lost and Confused. How I feel half the time. You can't overlook Jamie Ness and Ruben Severa when they team up together. I mean, that combination is going to warrant a lot of backing from the bettors. But just looking through its numbers, Lost and Confused will have to improve to beat the 3 or the 6. And then finally, number 2, Humble Joe. The inside position helps, particularly with the one horse scratching out. That gives it the de facto rail position. And I think that could be a big benefit for Humble Joe. I'm going to do a $4 pick 4. I had it screwed up before. 3, 6 with the 1, 4, 5, 7 with the 2 and 8. Hopefully catch a nice price in there somewhere and get my money back or a big profit. That's the goal. 2 races to go. That means the daily double is going to begin in race number 8.
Yep, we're going to shorten up to 6 furlongs. It's an optional claiming race, a $75,000 claiming price if you elect to put your horse in there to possibly be claimed, and a purse of $42,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races, or a claiming price of $75,000, and which have never won 2 races.
In case you haven't caught that, they haven't won 2 races. Christopher D'Souza thinks the 7 horse will win race 7. It's got to be a code along there somewhere with the 5 and the 2. Hey, that has to be a code. 752. They all add up, right?
Yep.
Indeed. All right, I'm going to take a look at the 6 furlong profile of a winner right now and tell you that Tactical Speed does good. Again, middle forward, not surprising at Parx. A little more than 1 out of 3 going wire to wire. Being on the inside, being fast, that's the greatest benefit of all. Terry, in the 8th race, do we have any inside speed? We do have one on the inside 3 with the scratch. That's fast.
That's right. That big Zigzag. The 4 has the most speed, followed up by the 7. And the 3 has an overlay from about 6 to 1 to 12 to 1. The 4 has an overlay from about 8 to 5 to 9 to 2. 5 has an overlay from 3 to 1, 4 to 1. And the 8 shows an overlay from about 7.5 to 1 to 10 to 1. All but the 6 show par plus numbers, and all of the horses show C zones.
Yeah, this again looks like a race that just about any horse can win. Maybe the 6 horse is the only one in here that doesn't fit in, and that might be the one to single up since I just badmouthed it. You have a bunch that want to be middle forward. Here you go, the 1 and the 6, the 2 closers. You got a lone P horse in here with the 5. Again, that one could get a really sweet trip relative to the rest. Looking at our early speed, it is going to be very competitive out of the gate. A bunch of them within a few points of one another. So get bumped, get pushed, get delayed coming out of the gate. Could be worst. You could be first. At the end of the race, we do know that Mr. Antonelli, Uncle Winchester, and Bet the Line, they have the first level of late speed. But again, very competitive in here. Only the Bronx boys not fitting in. Top total pace, again, looks like a very competitive race in here, Terry, although these 4 right here with about a length and a half advantage over the bottom 3. So the 3, 4, 5, and 7 most likely to produce your winner, Terry. After you did all the number crunching and handicapping, which of those is going to win in your view?
Well, I like the 5. Uncle Winchester is my top pick. He finished in the money in all 3 of his career starts. He won one of the races, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then I like the 7, Mr. Antonelli. Antonelli. He finished in the money in 3 of his last 4 races, winning one of the races. His best start speed is fast among today's starters. Has a bullet workout of 5 furlongs on September 4th. Then the Monopoly Man is my 3rd choice. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And the Rail Post winning at a 19% level. And he has a good workout on September 6th. Then the 4, Mr. Zigzag, is my long shot. He won his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and a bullet workout on September 7th. I'm going to play another $1 exacta box, the 1457.
So, Mr. Terry, when you play Monopoly, which character do you like to be?
Well, I like that train thing.
I'm usually the shoe. I don't know why. Race number 8, Christopher D'Souza likes the 4 horse. He likes it so much that he capitalized win. Does that make it your best bet in there? 4, 1, and 3. So he's going to go with the big Zog, or however you want to pronounce that one. That strong C-zone horse. Best chance to be on the lead. Pretty high par plus, favored as well. I go with the 7 horse, Mr. Antonelli, as my top selection in here. This one does have, at least proven so far, to have the most upside in the race. It's a track dropper, and just when you look at its workouts, they're just bullets, bullets, and bullets. It's just a fast horse. Number 1, the Monopoly Man, or the shoe in my case, Mr. Terry. Track dropper, Kendrick Caramouche coming in to ride this horse today, Terry. I don't think you make that trip unless you plan on winning. Number 5, Uncle Winchester is my 3rd pick. Improved in both of its races after its debut, including the top last race. Speed figure, just rerun that race. Boy, this race sounds very competitive to me. And then finally, the big Zog, 3 consecutive speed figure increases. At the top of the show, our good friend Jack of Trades mentioned he did get Barry Meadows' book, The Skeptical Handicapper, at the Detroit Library. Said a lot of numbers and information in there. If you're into numbers and information, I would highly recommend that book. 3 consecutive speed figure increases is what I call an alpha angle. According to Barry Meadows' research, that means it wins at least 15%. Also, a couple of bullet workouts between races. So that horse should be sharp and ready to rock and ready to go. We're ready to go to the final race of today. Again, tomorrow, Terry and I will be at Parx once again on Wednesday. We'll do Churchill Downs. On Thursday, we'll do Aqueduct. If you're watching on Twitter for the first time, kindly hit the follow button. Be a part of our Twitter community. Also over at Facebook, our great friend Swiss Army Sean putting some excellent content up in there. If you're a fan of horse racing, keep an eye on all that. You can find me at HRT Rich on Twitter. I'll be posting my Monday night football play if there's any tonight. Over there, as well as some other content from time to time. Terry, for the last race today, they're going to do something that they didn't do in any of the other 8.
That's right. They're going to go at 1 mile, and it's a claiming race, $15,000 claiming price, purse $20,000. It's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since June 16th. Claiming races for 12.5 or less are not being considered, or which have never won 4 races.
1 mile. Profile of a mile winner at 1 complete trip around the track, right? So 1 mile oval. There you go. That was kind of interesting with the animation there with the PDF pen. But at 1 mile, early speed, surprisingly or not surprisingly, goes really, really well. 42% of the time, or your favorite football player of all time, probably, or one of them, Terry, Ronnie Lott, going wire to wire. There's an inside 3, get a small bump. 4 through 7, a small discount. The best place to be at a mile is on the outside. So Buffalo Girl on the outside with some speed in race number 9. Again, Terry, a lot of them flashing some early juice, but one of them looks like it's got the most octane when the gates open.
Yeah, that's right. They all show juice some, but that 6 shows the most speed, followed up by the 4. And the 2 has an overlay from about 8-5 to 6-1. The 6 has an overlay from 4-1 to 8-1. All but the 3 and 9 show par plus numbers, and all but the 3 show C-zone.
Again, another very competitive race at Parx, but aren't they all? Race shape tells us, well, it's pretty even field in here. We see something for the first time today. An NC horse. It means never close or not close, whichever way you want to put it. Irie Empress, not within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line in any of its starts. 6, 7, and 8 want to be on the lead. The 1 and 10 want to close. The 4, 2, and 9 with some versatility in the middle. So these 3 here could end up getting the best trips. At the start of the race, if you're looking for speed, summary judgment, Boss Like Beth, a year to remember, a PC horse that's going to slide in there. Lamasco, another front runner. And those are your most likely ones to go for. So all of the speed, it looks like the 2 horse of those is the one that least needs to get up front. At the end, when the closers come to work, unadulterated, along with a year to remember. There's that a year to remember horse again, folks. Should be well placed as a PC type. Does have late speed at the end. That's probably going to grade out as our top total pace horse. Indeed, it does. That one is 7 points clear of Boss Like Beth. As we mentioned, 5 points equals 1 length. According to our top total pace, a year to remember, gets a good trip, should be able to close this race out and win by more than a length, Terry, but you say no.
Yeah, I like Lamasco, the 8. She won her last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 31% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse, and she has a high percentage winning jockey, and the combination in the last 14 days of the trainer and jockey has won 3 out of 7 starts with 3 seconds. Then I like the 1 Amateur. She drops in class today, may improve while returning to the dirt, switches to high percentage winning trainer. A year to remember, the 2 is my third pick, has won 2 races in a row, going for a hat trick now, and has a high percentage winning trainer. And then summary judgment, the 6 is my long shot. She's been in the money at Parx Racing 52% of her starts, winning 29% of those races. And at today's distance, she's been in the money 50% of the time, winning 33% of those races. And in addition to that, she has high percentage winning jockey Paco Lopez in the irons. I'm going to finish up, use the rest of my money from my $100 budget and a $1 exacta box, the 1-2-6-8.
Well, for the final time today, my thoughts are a year to remember. Top total pace horse, 7 points clear of everybody else. A little bit of an overlay there. Very strong par plus, meaning when we did our simulations, 59% of the time that horse ran a speed figure of at least 81. That is the Brisnet top or par speed figure for the condition. Number 8, Terry's pick, Lamasco. The CV suggests a big time move forward in a classic third start after layoff. Unadulterated, the 10 horse in there, a little bit of a price perhaps, but this one's more likely to finish at the third spot. 9 races, 1 win, and 5/3 at the distance. And this one will be closing at the end. And then finally, summary judgment. Again, a very competitive race. You cannot overlook Paco in a contested field. No more money for me. At least I don't think so. Here are our final picks, our full set of picks for today. We'll leave them up just for an extra second as they're about to go to race number 3. Again, when the show is over in a few minutes over at horseracingtoday.net, we will post all of our picks along with our commentary and a replay of the show. A link to horseracingtoday.net in the description. We also have some free picks for you today over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. A link in the description at YouTube. And then you'll see that Fort Erie is our free track of the day. Click on that so they know where you're coming from. Head over to Horse Racing Today to get that content. Along with the HRT gear, you can get a great number 1 shirt or a number 3 shirt to match your baby blues like Terry. And that's why he did it. Isn't that right, Terry?
That's right. Absolutely.
How old is these? Are about 3 years old now, right?
Ooh, these shirts?
These
Yeah,
shirts.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Eventually the HRT stuff comes off, but like the shirt doesn't wear out though.
No, it's good material that they use. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it hasn't worn out at all on me at all. So race number 3, they're about to get going. Liam's Kiss, the 2 horse, our top pick for both of us in here. That one is the 3-5 favorite. That's the one that we both, our simulations said should bolt to the front and perhaps never give it up. Harper Be Good, the 6 horse, the one we both think has the best chance to perhaps top the 2 horse. That's 7-2. Although the 3 horse, she's my buddy. That one is 9-2, down from 10-1. So keep an eye out on that one. They're trying to load the horses. I don't know what's going on. It looks like a little bit of a delay right there. Terry, any word from Jessica Paquette on what's holding them up?
I haven't heard anything.
It looks like one of the horses maybe have to resaddle the horse.
Well, the jockey's off the 3 and they're working with the bridle.
Yeah, so maybe they had to resaddle it. So it looks like they're perhaps getting that under. Yeah, it looks like they're getting that. Yeah, horse didn't like whatever they did. I don't know. I don't like when people squeeze my stomach either. Or when my pants do it, for that matter. When the pants do it, it's time to start exercising a little bit more robustly, right?
That's right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, Don, you got all that? Fantastic. All right, well, let's take a look at our numbers for race number 3, and we'll tell you about what's going to happen there when it finally when they finally load up. Still having some difficulties with the 3 horse, it looks like. I still haven't heard anything from Miss Paquette regarding the ongoings behind the gate. I'm sure she'll chime in any moment to let us know, but there is still a bit of a delay there. Jockey's still off the 3 horse. They haven't started moving any of the others to the gate. They had moved the 2 towards the gate, and then so Jessica just said getting some bridle adjustment. So still waiting on that, Terry.
Yep.
Alrighty then. So again, if you haven't done so already, I guess we can kindly request that you hit the like button on Facebook or YouTube. The thumbs up. Any kind of interaction helps us. Tell your friends about us. If you haven't done so, you're watching on Twitter, kindly follow us at HR Horse Racing, the number 2 day. It's the same handle. Okay, now they're loading, Jessica says here. So you see all of our social sites down there at the bottom. Kindly follow us along there. So it looks like Jean Aguilar has gotten back on to She's My Buddy. Liam's Kiss remains the 3-5 favorite, at least until they get to the quarter pole when they'll drop to 1-5.
Yep. Or 1-9.
Yes, indeed. Well, Charlestown's the horse for that.
Yep.
The horse will leave the gates at 9-1 and hit the quarter mile marker at 1-1 and then finish the race at 1-9.
Yep.
And I don't know how all that works. It is 2024. Everything should be pretty much instantaneous, I feel like.
You would think so.
I like the NYRA rules where the syndicates can't jump in. They get shut off 5 minutes to post. I mean, even 2 minutes to post or 1 minute to post. That way, when There can be small changes perhaps when the dollars are all counted, but horses shouldn't have their odds drop from like 6-1 to 3-1 middle of the race.
No.
And they're off and running. The 2-horse did get the lead. The head's kind of tossing around a little bit though, Terry. So kind of wonder what that means. The 1-horse is now actually even on the lead 11 months later. The 2 and the 6, yeah, the 2-horse kind of a little bit of a wide trip right now. It's kind of one like old Novas. Remember those old Novas would go down the highway with the front wheels here and the back wheels there. So running a little bit sideways, ass out. 6-horse is getting a good stalking trip right now, Terry. But I'm not a big fan of it going 3 wide through the turn. Fractions in the opening quarter, 24.5 seconds. So really not all that fast. The 5-horse, that one's kind of in the no man's land with the 3-horse all the way in the back. She's my buddy. The one that had a difficult time loading is having a difficult time keeping up. The 2 horses indeed dropped to 1 to 5. That 1-horse, Terry, continues to set the tone. Remember, we talked about Scott Fielder saying you got to take the longest shot in the board in a 5-horse race. Well, that one is on the lead. The 2-horse is steadily making up some ground right now. The 6-horse jockey asking it to go. The 5 and the 3 look like they're calling it a day. The opening quarter was a really slow 50.11 seconds. The 1-horse is submitted to the 2-horse's will. So the 2-horse, despite running a little bit like a old Nova, has gotten to the lead. Pretty steady hand right now with the jockey, really not asking it to do too much. The 6-horse is trying to make up ground. I don't know that it's going to pass the 2-horse because the jockey looks like he's having a hell of a time just staying in balance on that horse. So 2-horse is your easy winner. It did go off at 1 to 5 there, Terry. It's going to go 2, then the 1, and then the 6. And then I don't know who's going to come in a distant 4th. Looks like the 5-horse. The 3-horse, yeah, that one, I think I could have outran that one to the finish line today, Terry.
Yeah.
All right, there you have it, folks. Those are your first 3 races today at Parx. We're both alive in our pick 4s, Terry, off to a chalky start. But we both have a bunch of horses in the back end here, so hopefully some prices can come in. Again, join us, Terry and I, again tomorrow for Parx. Same time, same place, same social sites. Any final thoughts from you, Mr. Hollywood Hay, before we part for the day?
Well, yeah, just hope everybody has a great week. It's a nice start for this week. We started out really good today with our picks, although they haven't been very much very high priced, but that's fine. You know, you get a $5 winner, that's making quite a bit of profit on your $2. That's 150% profit. And I don't know where you're going to get that anywhere else. Just be careful, be safe.
You could follow Nancy Pelosi's trades.
That's true. And give your loved ones a hug and a kiss and tell them how you feel, because you never know what's going to happen day to day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, to be fair, it's not just Miss Pelosi. All of them, a lot of them do it. She's just the most prominent, being that she was the one time 4th in line. Was it the 4th in line? 3rd in line to the presidency. So, all right, folks, no matter what you're doing for the rest of this day, we certainly hope that you abide by the golden rule. Treat people like you want to be treated. And of course, the world will be a much better place. If you want to be left alone, then leave everybody alone, right? That's a great way to do it as well. No matter what you're doing for the rest of this Money Monday, we certainly hope that all your endeavors, your dreams, your goals are met with God's grace, God's favor, and every single thing you do till we get back together again finds its way to
the winner's circle.
Indeed. We'll see you tomorrow for day 2 in Bensalem. Have a great Monday.